All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Denonu, one half of the Neo Digital Podcast, and I'm here with my co-host.
Jolly, and I'm the other half of the Neo Digital Podcast.
Some would say the better half. A lot of people would
Oh,
disagree. But anyway, we're going to be talking about this whole Ellen Page issue. I don't want to say issue, but I guess coming out. I mean, what would you call this? Transitioning?
um, I don't know. Like, I think a transgender transitioning is like literally like a physical transformation, but I'm not sure. I would say she's coming out. You don't
Okay.
necessarily have to be gay to come out. Like, you can come out about whatever.
Yeah, I just like we already talked about before. I don't know a whole lot of the terminology behind
Yeah,
it, but
I don't either.
apparently,
Nor do I really care. I mean, only because it doesn't affect me.
yeah, don't affect me either. I don't see why this is even news. I guess for other trans people, maybe they look up to things like this to maybe do this themselves. I don't know. I mean, I guess that would be a good thing,
Yeah,
but somebody's, I guess, their personal sexual life to me. I just don't see how that's news. Like it's like, okay, she came out, she wants to be called a man. Okay.
it's news because she's popular.
Yeah.
He is popular.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well,
I'm gonna I'm gonna keep getting it wrong.
how about this? I'll say she, you say he. Make it a dichotomy.
Again, it's going to be difficult for me to get this
Mhm.
right because I've always known him as a her.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird to talk about because we're not trans, so like I said, we don't know the terminology. But anyway, she came out. She wants to be identified as a man, and I guess she wants to be known as Elliot Page versus being Ellen Page.
Okay.
And I guess that's pretty much it. I guess she written a page long article here. Well, not an article, but a letter I get here. Let me see if I can blow it up. But okay, so it's not going to get too big, but it's basically her sharing or he,
I
he
have seen that.
sharing. Okay, you've seen that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that's just him explaining the thoughts and stuff like that. And I guess she's excited about it. She's joyful about it. Um, I guess she feels happy that she did it this way. And I've
Mhm.
had read other articles and pages about her. Damn it, his wife.
It's going
I
to be
guess
difficult. It's going to be difficult.
yeah, like his wife saying stuff about it too. Basically, just saying that she's happy for him, things like that, and all that kind of sort of stuff. Well wishes mostly, but apparently it's uh she lists a lot of other stuff about 40 transgendered people being murdered and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it seems like this is rather than just oh, I'm happy I did this for this, and this. It feels like this is more a publicity statement more than anything.
Publicity statement? Like what?
That's what it seems like. Like read the middle part there, where it says it's her like like in the beginning she's thanking
Also
people for
ask
the
for patience,
courage.
my joy and real, but it's also fragile. The truth is, despite feeling profoundly happy right now and knowing how much privilege I carry, I am also kudos to saying privilege because he knows that fuck he knows that he has privilege
Yeah.
in more ways than one. I'm also scared. I'm scared of the evasiveness. You brought it on yourself. The hate, the jokes,
Mm-hmm.
and of the violence. To be clear, I'm not trying to dampen a moment that is joyous and one that I celebrate, but I want to address the full picture. The statistics are staggering. The discrimination towards trans has been okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I,
It's one thing to go in there and be like, I'm happy I did this, blah 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 blah. But then it's like you say that and then you jump into like, oh, here are the statistics about racism and sexism. It's like,
yeah.
come on, man.
It's technically the same thing that we as black people have been doing for years
Yeah.
because we want to get that information out there. And at the same time, as horrible as that is, 40 transgender people have been murdered and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. Like right now, they're fighting for their rights.
Mm-hmm. Look at
For
how
the
many
past
people. Yeah.
400 years, black people have been fighting for the right to live.
Yeah.
And it still goes on to this day. So it's hard for me to care about that
Yeah.
when we can't even get this shit right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, cool. You know, everyone has their own issue. Everyone has what they're fighting for,
Mm-hmm.
and there are statistics across the board. Whether that be Latino, Black, even white people have their own statistics. You know
Jewish.
what I mean? Oof, boy, Ooh,
They have a
man.
real big one, you know. So I hear.
Oh yeah, a few of them really. Because I mean, if you go biblical, you know, that's whew,
Yeah.
jeez. You know, so again, seeing this kind of stuff, it's like cool. Bring attention to it. It's not going to fix anything.
No.
Happy for you, but other than that, you know, I don't really have much to say on her coming out because I see this a lot. Other
Yeah.
actors have came out about being gay or anything, just different things. Cool, but I'm used to it.
Yeah. I think
I'm used to seeing it.
I think nowadays it's becoming more and more as the world gets more politically correct, more social, more left leaning.
Oof.
But I feel like I've seen a couple videos online about people who, let's say, were trans, get super offended at. I don't even want to call it normal people because we're all fucking human. I would say people that are not trans, I should say.
Oh, like
But
cisgendered.
yeah, whatever that is, normal male or female people.
Cisgendered is, and not to school you, but I read up on the shit.
School me. I don't keep up with a lot of stuff.
Cisgendered is someone who was born a certain way and they've stayed that way and they're straight. So
So
it's
a
like
typical straight person,
yeah. So I'm a cis
male.
male. Yeah,
I would assume so. You kind of pause there for a sec, like you got to
yeah.
think
Well,
about it.
I was gonna say black. I was gonna say cis black male, but yeah. And so that's like the distinction of like it's different than regular heterosexual male. It's like
Okay.
everyone has to have this fucking certain label, name, or whatever on before the shit. So
Okay.
cisgendered instead of queer, instead of trans, instead of whatever. That's yeah. Born that way, still that way, straight, whatever.
Which part do you have?
Who, me
But
personally?
no, I was just saying,
Oh,
just in general, like it's
I was
this
to say
it
I
seems
ain't
kind
coming out.
of it's no confusion there, but at least to me. But I mean, it is what it is.
Again,
Yeah,
it's whatever.
whatever
Now it's
floats your
whatever
boat.
you identify yourself
Yeah,
as. Okay, and like I said before a long time ago, okay, cool. Just don't get mad if I fuck up
yeah,
because I'm still in the old way of thinking, but also I have ascended above all labels. I'm just me.
yeah.
I'm just me. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable with who I am in certain aspects, and
Mm,
my identity doesn't bother me. I identify as a black male, cisgendered if you want to call it that, but I'm straight. I don't like anything else beyond that. I don't care. I just don't care.
yeah,
I have too many other things to worry about than what someone should label me as.
yeah. Me too.
Because people are going to label me as
Regardless.
whatever they want to label me as. It's called judgments.
Mm-hmm.
People have their judgments. It's human nature to judge people in any way we see fit. And that's just how we're wired.
Yeah,
And I'm okay with those judgments because I can either choose to educate you or tell you otherwise, or I can be like, fuck it, it's just a judgment.
yeah,
It doesn't bother me
yeah.
because
It's the
I'm
same thing
secure
that.
with
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I could care less too. It kind of reminds me of the same battle that it's different because it's not necessarily our sex, but let's say like how black people have. There's a lot
Mhm.
of black people out there that don't like to be called African American
Yeah,
because they're not African,
yeah,
so that's why we use the term black instead of that.
hmm
But technically, according to the forms and stuff, that's we're African
African
American,
American. Yeah,
because of the whole African descent thing. That's the label that they gave us, along with being black before it was the N
hmm
word. So it's one of those things where it's like that's the label that we were given, and we just gotta that it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I mean, if she wants to change her label to being he or being a man or trans, queer, whatever, okay, whatever floats your boat. I mean, it is what it is. um, do you? It's your life. You know,
Yeah.
just don't be mad at other people when they may address you one way because they don't live your lifestyle. You know,
See, that's the thing. It's the different levels of lifestyle. Like I like how you said that
yeah,
they don't live your lifestyle. So I see this so often where trans, whatever, like, it doesn't matter who you are. It's just like them,
offended.
whatever. They get offended,
Well, not
and
even
again, not just transgender, but just like anybody who has a label.
not even
If
that.
someone else doesn't
I
do
do
it,
you one thing. Sorry though, but I was just saying it's the same kind of dichotomy that you see with like vegan people or people who believe in the environment who don't want us to kill animals for meat and stuff. It's they get offended when you don't agree with their way of thinking.
yeah.
And it's the same thing here. A lot of trans people who are a part of that lifestyle is the same thing with the gay lifestyle. The people who are into the 37 different types of personalities and all of that weird extra stuff. Um, they think that way, and I guess they assume that, or I don't want to wrap everybody up in that group because that'd be wrong. But some people assume that everybody should think that way, and they should know just because I want to be called, we want to be called black, but other people may call us the N word or African American or whatever, and we get super offended, or they get super offended rather that when people don't agree with that way of thinking.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't give a shit, but you give a
I
shit.
mean,
So
if somebody
it's
called me the N word, I would give a shit. But it's just one of
eh,
those things. It's like
I wouldn't. I wouldn't give two fucks.
I care enough to be mad at it, but not to really do anything about it. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
it's disrespectful. It upsets me, but again, in the grander scheme of things, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like if somebody called me, the N word, I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah,
Not, I wouldn't like it, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I don't care what you think. So that just,
yeah.
I'm not going to give two fucks. I could care less. But, like you said, there's bigger problems to worry about in the world than what I want to be called,
Physical things matter more. Like
Exactly.
if it gets to the point where it's like, oh, you hate me so much, or you want to kill me, then we have an issue.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Obviously
but
that's what that's wrong as shit.
yeah,
I mean, I think trans people, I think they should get all the same rights that everybody else got, just like gay people. Is what it is. All the problems and pitfalls that go on with it. You want to be equal, there you
wait,
go. Take this equality, just like everybody else.
did you just pull an Aladdin reference?
The lad
Like,
reference.
yeah, like Jafar was like, I want to be a genie. He was like, oh, you want to be a genie, huh?
Oh, now you're stuck in this fucking bottle, bitch.
You get everything that goes along with it.
Yeah, it's like,
Click,
it's what it
click.
is. It's like, I was watching a movie. I forget what it was, but I remember it had Sean Bean in it, right?
Mm,
So without jumping into a full on tangent, I'll quickly explain this movie. Basically, Thor and his girlfriend, Chris Hemsworth and his girlfriend in the movie,
mhm.
found some money. They found some criminals' money. Like he was driving along the highway, a suitcase of money fell down, and hit his car. Suitcase had over 500 grand in it. They took the money, spent some of it, banked a lot of it, gave some to their mom. Right? Sean
Mhm.
Bean comes in as the guy who's like, "Where's my money?"
Mm.
So he gets back every little cent that they spent. And then what they couldn't get back from the bank, and because they bought a car and some house furniture, he made them go around and rob stores and shit. Like they literally get every cent of his money back. So the first store he went to, handed a gun to Chris Helmsworth. Like, you go in there, rob that store. You don't do what I say, I'm gonna kill your girl. So he does it, comes back, drives around to like the next store, goes to the wife, hands her the gun. Go in there and and go get my money. But I was like, what you think that vagina that you have magically gives you, more equality? Like I forget how I put it, but it was like, what, you think just because you got a vagina that it elevates you more than your husband? It was like, no. Women always talk about wanting equality. I'm gonna give it to you. Here you go. Take this gun, go in here. You don't do what I say, I'm gonna kill your husband.
Okay.
but but it's the same kind of sort of thing. It's you know, you have to kind of, people are going to be people one way or the other. We all got to live in this crazy world. And if you want to be one way, I want to be another way, then it is what it is. We all have to get along. We're all not going to, believe in the same politics. It's the same difference. You may come across like we don't give a shit, but you may come across some people who may be on the other side of the fence who don't believe in the whole trans thing. They're like, hey, if you're a woman, you're a woman. Like, I know I'm kind of leaning that way, but I don't really care. But it's, there's people out there who just won't accept it or acknowledge it at all, and you got to learn to deal with those people too. And I wonder how this is going to affect her acting career going forward. Because does this mean she's only going to go for male-centric roles? Because what if, like, for a movie, a director's like, oh, I want a sexy lady of her type, that's slim, younger looking, things like that, and they go hire her. Is she gonna dress up as a female to play in a movie, or is she only gonna pick male-centric roles? So it's how do you juggle that?
So with that is what I saw in one of the Twitter comments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was a comment. I think it was towards the Umbrella Academy. I think it was Netflix. I think it was Netflix, a Twitter account or something like that. Okay. So people were asking questions about this. So someone was like, how does that affect the character?
I'm assuming it wouldn't, but because that don't have anything to do with the character. Sexuality.
So why would it? So, but the thing is that, okay, if the character's female and the person that's playing it is now a man, someone else was like, I think one of their comments was, I don't see how a male can keep a female's role.
Mm-hmm.
Because, or transgender male can keep a role, because they said if a straight male played, a straight non-transgendered male played a transgender role, they would be up in arms about it. They'd be pissed.
Well, they had before. They had Rocky Horror Picture Show, and just to go back to our childhood,
that's different. Okay, so that's, again, Rocky Horror Picture Show and the whole childhood thing. That this was before, like,
before nowadays,
before the whole movement.
Yeah, you would get a whole backlash because of it nowadays if you did it now.
Yeah. So that's what the question was about.
Okay,
like, if a straight non-transgendered male went out for a transgendered role, that would be a fucking problem. Someone else had commented in reply to that, and they call this person transphobic. I'm like, that's not fucking transphobic.
No, that's not transphobic.
A legitimate question.
That's a legitimate question, because that's the same thing. That's like blackface and how white people used to paint their skin red to be Indians in all the old movies.
Yes,
it's that same exact thing. I mean, if you want to take that dichotomy, it's exactly that, and they're absolutely right to ask that question.
Someone said a straight male wouldn't have. I'm like, see, they glossed over because they figured they were saying, like, meaning gay male, like he had to be gay.
Can a straight guy play a gay person or something like that?
It doesn't fucking, like, that doesn't fucking matter in this context, because the person said straight non-transgendered.
Yeah, you're pretending to be somebody else in another character. Yeah.
Yes. And they were like, we wouldn't have a problem. Like, bullshit. You would have a fucking problem with it. Because I've seen it happen so many times before. Another big thing. Remember that what was that movie with what's his name? Fuck, short dude.
What's the movie?
Comedy. I think it was Up Something. It's when the black dude was taking care of Like, oh, I can't remember fucking names to save my life, bro. Like, if somebody had a gun in my head right now, I was like, say that motherfucker's name, I'd be like, well, time to go.
Well, to drag it out to give you more time to think. I mean, another movie that did exactly
Chris
that.
Rock, not Chris Rock.
Joanna Man, where the guy dressed up as a woman to play basketball.
Joanna Man,
came out. Yeah, I get
before all this shit, and that's the whole idea of the movie, though.
Yeah,
the whole idea of the movie was him to dress up as a woman.
Hell, Big Mama's House.
Again,
all the Tyler Perry movies.
Again, that's the idea, is to dress up as a woman, though. What's the comedy guy, man? Like, he's big in comedy.
Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart. Fuck, dude. Fuck.
Kevin Hart. The guy who does the movies with the rocks. He does comedy.
I know. I was good. Yeah. Kevin Hart, and then the other guy was the Malcolm in the Middle, the father. Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston, yeah, Breaking Bad.
Bryan Cranston was playing a paraplegic in that movie, and Kevin Hart's character was taking care of him. Bryan Cranston got so much shit because
he's playing a paraplegic.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see that movie?
No, I mean, I've never seen the movie, but like, did he do a bad job or something?
He won a fucking Oscar for that shit.
What the fuck? Why are you mad at Lieutenant Dan for not having missing legs? Fucking no. He killed that shit. Like, that's fucking stupid. That's a part of the culture nowadays that's fucking ass. Like, it's like, no, if I can understand, like, just because he's not paralyzed. Oh, you want to have him pull a Batgirl and get shot for a movie role? Like, like, no.
It's not that many. First off, it's not that many paraplegic actors.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And when people say you should have got a real paraplegic to play that role, it's like
they might not connect.
What if they did get a real paraplegic actor?
Would it change anything about
how to fucking act? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, would it change anything about the fucking movie?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, if this is like, if it's not about what you have to be, like the physicality of it. It's about
it's not about the representation.
Yes. Let me not say that.
Well, what I mean by that, it's
because race is a different thing.
It's not about the role. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by representation. It's the representation of having an authentic paraplegic in that movie does not fucking matter. Yeah. It's the movie is about a paraplegic guy, and this is the actor that we're going to have to play him.
Yes.
They're not picking him because, you know what, we think he looked good sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
They're picking him because he's a good actor and that can act the part that they want to in the movie.
Now, it's different in saying, because I've been in a commercial before, it was like a public transportation commercial, where they had a actress who was like, not an extra, but like she had lines. They had an actual actress sit in a wheelchair and use the wheelchair and deliver lines, like portraying herself as
specifically to target that audience.
Yes. Unfortunately, because it's the Metro. It's a busing company, you know what I mean? So
you want to promote the fact that you have handicapped seats on your transportation.
Exactly. Now, in my mind, hey, fuck it, get an actor. We need this, Yeah. But what ended up happening was they still paid her for her time, but the people who owned the organization was like, no, you need to get an actual person that is in a wheelchair. So they did. They ended up getting like a actress who actually uses a wheelchair.
Okay.
And I was like, cool. At least you still paid the other one for her time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to pay for your work.
And I would like to see more actresses and actors get roles regardless of if they're in a chair or not. You know what I mean? But that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do because movie theaters, or not movie theaters, but movie companies, they don't have to do that. And they really don't. And
most stories don't really showcase that a lot.
Yeah, unless the movie, I would say, is about, let's say like a handicapped person overcoming that, and they want that somebody's real experience, in there, then they might do it. But if it's just, him being paraplegic is a part of his character being emotionally distraught or something,
bro.
then it doesn't
That's
matter.
the issue. It's like you don't see that a lot in TV and
You
film and
don't.
stuff like that, because to be an actor, you have to put yourself out there so much and get a good representation of who
Mm-hmm.
you are, so people will want to pick you up. And
Yeah.
there's just not that much representation out there, because there's not that many actors out there that are really doing that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To get popular enough. So when I see stuff like this, it's like, okay, Elliot Page is a transgender male. Is he going to go out there and apply for male roles when the story calls for a male?
Mm-hmm.
Will they show up and be like, "Let me audition"? And if you don't
Nobody's it.
audition,
And the sad part about it is nobody would probably pick her for that role. Whether if that's what she targets, unless there's a movie that's specifically about
yeah.
something like that. But won't do it.
Now flip that. What if they do end up picking him? Right? It's like,
Probably be a weird watching experience, but
to me, it'd be a weird watching experience,
yeah,
especially like if they have him doing sex scenes and like
yeah,
kissing
yeah, because she's has
men.
has the body of a woman. So
Yeah. Well, so let's say she gets a male role. Now you're passing over men. But let's say
mm-hmm,
there's a female role, right? Whole different movie. And
mm-hmm.
now she's like, I want to apply for that too. So
You can't
basically,
hedge your bets.
yeah, like basically like if and I don't know if he will do this, but it's
Yeah,
just like it's one of those things,
yeah,
because of course he can play a female role because he's doing it now,
yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what she's been doing for up until now. So
If he claims to be a man, that means he can go out there and audition for any other male role.
yeah,
So if you ended up getting both roles, it's like now you're passing up other actors that could have took that spot because you want to be both, or
yeah.
you want to be able to play both.
And not only that,
And
I don't know if, let's
that's
say,
like, that's bullshit.
if she is doing that, like you said, we have no idea, no one.
Yeah, no idea.
But let's say if she goes out for male roles, don't get picked for him because the director's going to be like, okay, well, you don't look like a man, and we want somebody who looks like a man. Is that going to be a thing because you didn't pick her because of how she looks? When in
Yeah,
reality, that's what they do in movies all day, every day. That's why sex sells.
yeah,
It is what it is. So it's going to be weird. I mean, I'm assuming she would know this all before coming out, so maybe she's fine with having her roles be tailored, or maybe she's ready for the backlash that she may get to her career because of this. But either way, I mean, I'll say I hope it works out. Do you?
yeah,
It is what it
yeah.
is.
Same. I'm just looking at it from another actor standpoint. It's like,
Yeah,
and I know that we would never go for the same role anyway because again, two different markets.
yeah,
But I think about it because that opens the avenue for other
other transgender people. Yeah,
transgender, queer,
yeah, because
straight,
she's not the
whatever.
only actor to do this. I remember even on The Flash, they had
Hmm.
one person that was like that too.
Yeah. So it's like now that's more of a thing that's like, okay, when a cis person may get
Mm-hmm.
passed over, whether that be black, white, whatever, because
Yeah, who's
a
right, who's
transgender
wrong in
wants to
that?
go for both or either
Yeah,
or whatever, and it's like, damn, dude,
yeah.
it's
Where
just
where do
even
you
more of
draw
a.
where do you draw the line?
That's what I was gonna say. It's even more of a like a grayish
A
area.
conundrum.
Yeah, I was gonna say the line is blurred. I was trying to look for that, more of a blurred line. But yeah, I mean, so that Twitter question that I saw, Twitter question statement, whatever, I was like, that's really not that far off the mark.
Yeah.
And saying that isn't transphobic, at least
No.
in my eyes, it's a legitimate question, even if it was worded weird. It's still
Mm.
like if you understand the base of people and give people benefit of the doubt, nothing really can offend you
Yeah.
because you know take it as face value. The person just wants to know, so just either answer them or just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is, and it's. I mean, I know I liked her in most of the stuff she played in. I mean, she's always kind of played those mousy type characters. Even in Umbrella Academy, I remember watching the season 1 of that. I thought she was all right. You know, um, if that's
Does it feel
what.
like her character changed though?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen season 2, so
bro, like I was we had talked about this before, but well, before we started,
mm,
but watching the behind the scenes stuff and then kind of watching the season 2, it's like, damn, the character changed a little bit, but it seemed more like the actor changed than the character,
mm.
because like you do see character development, but it's just like shit. She seems different. And watching the behind the scenes stuff, I was like, his voice
Maybe this
is
could be why.
different.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
she's feeling the whole trans thing and being one way versus being how she used to be.
yeah.
So
Doesn't change anything, but it was just like I noticed that, and it was just like, I wonder if the actor is going to influence the character at all.
yeah, I mean, I would assume that it would, because she's playing the character. But then again, the whole thing of the actor is to, as you already know, play something that's not yourself, because that's the
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
You know, they're y'all motherfuckers are good at that shit.
Yeah, this whole time I've been playing, I'm actually white. I'm just kidding. Credit score, bitch. No, I'm kidding.
Start be like the Joker, just start taking the paint off and shit.
I'm gonna go buy a fucking house and rent it out and sublease it. Get that fucking wealth. No, I'm just kidding.
But anyways, YouTube, that's just our thoughts on the whole Ellen/Elliot Page.
No slash. It's just Elliot Page.
No, that's our whole thoughts on the whole Elliot Page thing.
Good luck with it. All the love to you. Keep at it.
Make more decent movies. I mean, can I say like she used to be cute? Is that like, is that offensive?
Can I say that?
Yeah, it's like I don't want to. Like my man here won't let me say it.
What if I say he is still attractive? It's
But yeah.
See, not
What?
If I say he's attractive, does that make me gay?
No.
It's man.
According to Robert Downey Jr., everybody's gay once in a while.
I guess that's true.
But yeah. I hope he or she makes more movies in the future. That was one main problem with. I liked her in all the movies and stuff that I've seen her or seen him in, but it's like it was never really a lot of stuff. So
no, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Now I'm tripping over that question. Now, like, if I'm looking at this picture of him right now, and I'm like,
I got the perfect answer for you.
He can still get it.
When did you ask the question? Is it in the 1990s or the early 2000s, or
before,
after 2015?
Technically, before and after. It's like I'm still looking right now. I'm like,
well, you need to figure out your damn acronym.
But see, that's weird though, because now it's like if he identifies as a man, technically that makes me gay. Technically. See, fuck, dude. I hate the.
Can you still call him pretty? Would that be an acronym, or would
men are pretty,
or would he be a non-handsome man?
No, men can be pretty. You hear the term pretty boys and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure all of these questions are above our pay grade.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll all have to figure out the answers on the next episode of Life.
Don't worry about it.
We will see you guys on the next one.
Peace out, y'all.